What a lovely race that was.
Absolutely smashing.
I'm positively chuffed.
Indeed, I am totally chuffed.
Lewis Hamilton.
Lewis Hamilton. Sir Lewis Hamilton to you.
Sir Lewis Hamilton.
Knighted by the late Queen.
That's right.
Our late Queen.
Our late Queen, of course, yes. It's home, Matthew.
It's coming home.
It's not coming home.
It's
home.
home. It is home, Silverstone.
Here in Silverstone.
Jolly old England.
And what a race it was.
What a classic.
What that George Russell, though.
You know, people thought, people get enamored with new things. George Russell is this young whippersnapper.
Lando Norris, too.
Lando Norris, we're walking around Silverstone, absolutely miffed. Lando Norris hats everywhere, orange papaya everywhere. Everyone gets enamored with the new things.
But what about the classics?
What's about the classics? Sometimes great things take time. Great things take time.
They take time to mature.
Take time to mature. Good things take time. Good things come to those who wait. And Lewis was waiting. The sun never sets on the English Empire, and it never sets on Lewis Hamilton, because Lewis Hamilton is a classic.
He is a classic, and it was his time. Let's say it was his hammer time.
Indeed, Brian, indeed.
Shall we?
Yes, we shall.
England.
What's up, Rangers?
Get in there, Vanguards! Get in there, Vanguards!
How is everybody doing?
How are you doing? How are we doing? We're in the belly of the beast, baby. We're behind enemy lines here in Silverstone. We got to watch Lewis Hamilton bring this thing home.
It's coming home, as they keep fucking saying.
Well, it's probably not going to come home for the Euros, so you got to take what you can get, England, and it's probably going to come home. This is good. This is it.
Yeah, this is enjoy it while it lasts.
Enjoy it while it lasts, which is what we've been doing, soaking up every single little bit of a moment here. We're here.
The high status that they're going to take away from us very soon.
Yeah, because pretty soon we're going to be back in our shitty apartments. But we are here currently at Lunaz, which is a Silverstone-based trailblazer in restoring and electrifying some of the most iconic British cars like Bentleys, Rolls-Royces, Aston Martins, Jaguars, and Range Rovers. We are here. We just saw their factory. You saw the intro if you watched this on YouTube. Just class.
Spellbinding.
Class.
Pure class.
Class meets the modern age, which is what this race was.
They let us sit in there. I was like ready to take all my clothes off. I was like, and be deloused. I was like, I don't know if I can get in one of these cars.
Yeah, we're like, can we go through one of those, like, exactly. Spray me down with disinfectant before I get in this. Because there's something special about the British
countryside.
World. Yeah, just a little bit more about Lunaz. They meticulously hand restore, customize, and electrify each car here on site in Silverstone. We can see the track out of the windows. It's crazy. And they're making these timeless treasures more sustainable and usable. So check out lunaz.group to learn more. Okay, let's talk about this week. Let's talk about everything that there was so.
I have complicated feelings about this week because I'm glad the race was great. I had a great time. In England.
Yeah.
But just the British. Whenever the British get a chance to glaze themselves, they really do.
Yeah.
After qualifying, when there was the British, the top three,
the 1, 2, 3,
the 1, 2, 3 British, I was just like, they were just deep throating themselves. It's tough to watch. Like, let us do it for you. Don't do it to yourselves. Like, oh my God, it's an all British podium, and I was like, yeah, that's cool. And they're like, this hasn't happened in 60 years, and I'm like, wait a minute, that means you suck, because most of the drivers are not a majority, but a plurality of the drivers are British.
Right.
So the fact that you haven't fucking locked out a podium, the front three, in 60 years, when this is a British sport,
right,
done in England, like all the factories are in England.
Yeah, we passed by. We drove up. We see the Aston Martin garage. We see we were in Milton Keynes. They're all located here except for Ferrari and Alpine.
When you include Albon, there's 4 fucking drivers that are British right now.
Yeah, sure.
About to be a 5th with Ollie Behrman. And you're about to have 25% of the fucking grid.
Right.
You know, it's pathetic. So you see it as a good. I try to level. I try to balance. I try to provide balance. Like if you're gonna blow yourself, enough, I have to just fucking deflate it.
Of course,
deflate it a little bit. And that's what I'm here to do.
Yeah, I was like, it was cute. I was like, oh, I was more excited that it was the 3 of those individuals more than I was like, and it's the 3 Brits.
I was like more excited. I was more excited that it was like that. You knew it meant it would mean a lot to one of those 3.
It was exciting that Verstappen wasn't on pole.
Exactly.
That was what was exciting. I mean, the qualifying was thrilling. The race was fucking great. Let's talk Silverstone. Where should we even fucking begin?
The British countryside is very nice.
It is.
It's very nice. You could see. I mean, the people that must have lived here originally, like back in the day, must be horrified to see all the huddled masses just coming out here.
Right.
Because it's just salt burn house after salt burn house.
Right.
I mean, we stayed in a salt burn house.
Yes.
And then we had dinner in a house next to where Christian Horner lived.
Yes, we did.
And it was lovely. Everybody was nice, but I was just waiting to be hunted for sport the whole time.
Yes.
It was absolutely insane. But
this wasn't built for like the masses. It was built for the for the lucky few to come up, and yet here we are, we band of brothers.
Yeah.
The huddled masses of F1 fans coming to watch this. I mean, it is crazy that Lewis won this race. What is it though? Like, I'm sorry. Like, I know that there's the British bias, and like, I know that you're out on the Britishness of it all. But the fact that Lewis hasn't won a race since Jeddah 2021, when Max brake checked him, it's been. I think they said they had all the stats ready to go. They were like, it's been over 1,000 days since Lewis won.
You know what's interesting? You say that because it's like this was a big moment for Lewis because being here. My other big impression, was I was like, oh, he's kind of losing this country a little bit. Mm-hmm. I mean, everyone says it's Lewis's state. You know, when you watch the broadcast, like the broadcast loves Lewis, and they're like, look at Lewis, he's Mr. England. Mm-hmm. Living in America, you get the vibe that this is Lewis country.
Right.
But when we were at Silverstone, we were walking the grounds. And this is why we needed to be here. We needed to be here. So absolutely necessity. We actually saw, it was so many McLaren fans, so many Lando Norris fans. And we talked to a lot of these people. And we said, snog, marry, pie, the British drivers. And Lewis was not getting a lot of marries and a lot of snogs.
I don't think that Lando got pied like once. Lewis got pied a couple times. George got pied a lot.
So here's what I think it is. I think the new fan likes. I think Lando's winning that battle for the next generation.
Yes.
So I think anybody millennial and older still fucks with Lewis out here, but I think Lando's just winning.
It is Lando country.
16. It's Lando country.
There was so much papaya. You looked out and you saw like the crowds, so much papaya, and then you look and it's like, okay, then you see the like people wearing the Merc gear, and you're like, that's for Lewis,
right?
You're not like, oh, there's a big George.
It might be 50-50.
Oh, between Lando and Lewis.
Lando and Lewis. Yeah, it might be. It was like in terms of what we were seeing.
No, I think for the kids, it's like Lewis was like your dad liked Lewis.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you grew up kind of like with family in it, you'd be like, my dad liked Lewis. It's like if you were a kid when like LeBron came in and you were like, I don't care about Kobe Bryant.
Right.
Or when Kobe Bryant came in, they're like, I don't care about Michael Jordan. It's like I'm with the new guy.
Yeah, Lando's your guy.
Lando's the new guy. Lando's your guy. I mean, I fall into this camp. I'm a Lando stan.
Right. Lando entered the sport around the same time that you did.
Yeah.
He was the new kid on the block. Lewis's best days, I mean, are kind of behind him.
And I think he kind of knows that because, I mean, we'll see.
Even if he wins 2 more championships.
We'll see what happens, and it's not looking right now. It's not looking like Ferrari is who knows? But it's not looking like Ferrari was great. We'll get to that. But like
It's bittersweet.
Part of why Lewis was so emotional today. I mean, he was crying. I mean, even I think was it Jensen Button did the post race interviews. I think it was Jensen Button said like I've watched you throughout your career. I've seen you on many highs and lows. Like I've never seen you this emotional, because Lewis was really he was what's the term when you just like unload?
Catharsis.
It was catharsis. He had a huge amount of catharsis in this race today because there's been so much pent up shit since 2021. The fact that like he's gone winless since then, has like had kind of a shitty car, like all this stuff. He's now leaving Mercedes, the place that like brought him to the top of the mountain, and he's leaving, and he gets this win in fucking Silverstone.
Yeah, but
it's British bias, dude. What did they do to the rest of these cars?
No, but I mean, but back to the land. I think it reminded everybody that he's still that bitch.
Lewis did.
That Lewis is still
Yes.
like nuts. Nut crunch time, nut check time. He's still that guy.
Yeah.
And Lando is he's not yet
The full package.
the full package. He's just not. He just isn't.
He just never. He can never do it like at the right time. Because during this race, like when it started to rain, and
McLaren,
they were all,
that includes McLaren, by the way.
and that includes. Oh, we'll get into
It's not
McLaren.
just Lando. It's the whole package of Lando and McLaren.
And the whole thing.
The way they work together has not been perfected.
They've just they so rarely put it together, put the whole thing together. They so rarely hock to it over that whole weekend. And like, but look, like when it first started, the rain first started coming down, they all stayed out on the slicks, except for Charles Leclerc, which we'll get into. But when that happened, and then like Lando was driving great and he passed everyone, that's when he took the lead in the first place. Like I was like, look, I turned to Matt and I go, Lando Norris is going to win the WDC. I said that. I was like, he's going to win the WDC. And then at the end, it was like they put him on the fucking wrong tire. Maybe he requested that tire. I'm unclear what happened, but like he had the really impressive moment 20 laps in and not in the last 10 laps, which is when he needed it.
Yeah, but Oscar was going really fast during that stint too. Like Oscar was
the
passing.
McLarens
The
were
McLarens
strong.
were just really strong in that semi-wet stint. And I mean, but Lando, Max gets him every start. He got him in the start.
He got him in the start.
I mean,
he did.
Lando was faster that week, and Max just had him. So he made more work for himself.
Yep.
He did get him. It was fine, and it's like, okay, he's making his way through. And then I don't know whether it seemed like it was a little bit. They deferred to the drivers a little more.
Yes,
where it was like
with the wet conditions, they defer. They go off of driver feel.
Yeah. They can't tell you how it feels out there. They don't know every puddle that's out there. And there was that great moment with Lewis. I mean, that's Lewis. Yes. They're like, you want to switch to inters?
No, they don't. They don't say. They didn't ask him if he wanted to switch to inters. They said, Lewis, we think we should switch to inters. And they said it's time.
And he said nope.
He said nope. It's still dry out here.
Right? That's experience. That's what's so funny is like, and he lost. And let's remember, George beat him in qualifying.
Yep.
What Lewis lacks in that, when you age, you lose just that little bit of reflex.
Yes.
Whatever
can't hit the 100-mile-an-hour fastball necessarily. He can't get ahead of it, but he can do other stuff.
Yeah, that's what's interesting is like what you lose in that raw, quick twitch talent that you have with your youth.
Yeah,
what you gain in experience can kind of make up for it in these sorts of races where it's all about like, oh, he knows every nook and cranny of this race.
Yes.
He's won this race 9 times.
Crazy.
He's won this race more times than Daniel Ricciardo
has wins.
Yeah. It's fucking nuts.
It's crazy.
Like, he fucking could win this race literally with his eyes closed. and he just knew that these guys with their fucking computers were wrong. Mm-hmm. And Lando, we haven't listened to the onboard. They're so bad with the radios these days.
Yeah.
I really want to know that decision to leave Lando out that extra lap.
Yeah.
Which kind of cost him.
Yeah.
And they did it twice, right? They left Lando out too long.
Well, the first they fucked over.
They fucked over Piastri. Colossally. And what's crazy is it wasn't even in hindsight because when they brought Lando in,
Yeah.
Jolyon Palmer or whoever was saying, why don't they double stack?
Yeah.
He was like, whatever they lose, like he'll lose 3 seconds being stuck because he was too close.
Yeah.
Like George and Hamilton were the perfect
distance apart to nail a double stack. Yeah.
But it's like, whatever he loses, it's going to be better than if he comes in a lap later.
Yeah, he lost like 20. Lando went into the pits. Yeah, he lost like 20 seconds.
Do you think they panicked? And they were like, oh, they're so close. Let's just not.
Yeah,
Let's
maybe.
just separate them.
Yeah.
And honestly, it would have helped to have them together. Would have made Verstappen's job harder.
100%.
You know?
They let perfect get in the way of good.
Yeah.
They were like, no, if we do that, then like he'll be stuck. And that's not optimized. You know, sometimes it's like with the optimization culture, which is something that I continue to rail against. It's just like, you know, oh no, but he's too close to Lando to come in for a double stack because that means that he'd have to wait there for a few seconds. It's like, yeah, well, you do that, then you leave him out.
But I also
on slicks right as the rain gets really hard, and then he's fucked.
I also think that how close Oscar was in this low degradation, you know, whatever Oscar's tire woes weren't happening today. Like the thing that usually keeps Oscar from really giving Lando a hard time,
right,
was not applying this week. Because usually they don't have to worry about Oscar fucking Lando because he's just he's not all the way there.
He can't manage the tires.
He can't manage the tires as well as Lando. But when tire management is not as much of an issue, like in a sprint race, when he got him in Austria, or when it's raining and it's cold, probably Oscar is more of a fucking headache, and they probably were like, oh, we don't. And they don't want to be in a position to do team orders. They don't want to tell Oscar to back the fuck up. So they'll kind of like do we'll just pit him a lap later and, you know, see what happens. Because then they don't have to make a hard call that way.
Yeah, I mean, I hear that. I think that's definitely possible. Like that, you know, that aspect of things with Lando. Lando's the boy
golden
this year.
child.
He's the golden child this year.
They didn't want to do team orders with Oscar, and they also didn't want to fuck Lando in Silverstone.
Right.
And they do what I always do when like producer Jenny ask me a hard question.
Yeah.
I say, can we handle this tomorrow? Can like we punt?
Yeah.
That's what they did. They punted. They're like, we'll just pit him a lap later and then it'll kind of, we don't have to, that's kind of a non-decision.
It was a non-decision, but it was ultimately a non-decision is still a decision.
Yes.
And especially with changing conditions like this, it's like you're totally, you know, it's a fucking razor's edge. It's in a moment's notice. All of a sudden, now it's pouring. We've been here.
Yeah.
1 second it's drizzling, and the next second it's fucking pouring rain. The weather is schizophrenic, and they made a bunch of wrong decisions because then later in the race, they left Lando
out an extra lap.
They left Lando out an extra lap, and they brought Oscar in at the right time.
Yeah.
So they knew at that time. They actually knew that like this is a time to make a stop. I mean, at the other time they did. Both times they fucked over one of their drivers.
Or instead one of their drivers opted wrong.
Right. Yeah. And unclear as to what happened there. And you're right. It might have been Lando saying, no, leave me out. And he was leading the race as well. We talked about how Lando gets panicky when he leads the race.
Well, that was Sochi. A bunch of times. He's just like, when he gets there, we talked about the idea of being chased. Yeah.
You know? It looked like that was Lando's race. Lando looked like, he's going to win this race, and then
we've said that a couple of times now.
We said it so many times. He's won one race, and it was the only race that he wasn't supposed to win.
Yeah, but because that race went into his lap.
Yes,
that race fell on his lap, and he didn't fumble it.
He is yet to win a race. Well, he's only won one, but he's yet to win a race where like he was supposed to win it.
He was supposed to win it, and he just controlled it from the whole time.
Yeah.
I mean, was he supposed to win this race? Let's go over this because he started third.
Yep.
He had the pace for like one major for the wet stint.
For that wet stint, yeah.
Now the question, but then they did not have the pace the other time.
Yeah, it seemed like maybe they didn't have the pace. It seemed like they were harder on their tires in the dry conditions because Lewis went in on the softs a lap before Lando went in on the softs. And Lewis was able to keep those going a lot longer. And in the post race, like in the little drivers room, the cool down room, yeah. Lando was like, well, it didn't matter because like I was, even if I'd come out ahead of you, I still would have lost because my tires just died immediately. Those soft tires died immediately.
Yeah.
And he wound up being like 6 seconds behind Lewis, who he came out and he was a second and a half behind. But he came out a second and a half behind Lewis, and he finished 6.5 seconds.
More importantly, though, even if he didn't win that race, he could have beaten Verstappen. Because that's what the fight is. If we're saying he can win the world, right. If he gotten second and Verstappen gotten third, that's a win for him.
No, Max Verstappen is the fucking Terminator.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a weekend where Max Verstappen should have been fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
And it looked like he was nowhere. Well, he went off in qualifying. Yeah. He destroyed his underfloor. Yeah. So then he gets what, fourth in quali.
Yeah.
Which was also heroic.
Yeah.
That he put a car that they said that he lost 100 points of downforce. That the Red Bull lost 100 points of downforce, and Max Verstappen still put it in fourth place.
And he was shocked. He was like, he
couldn't believe it.
He was and he said in the cool down room, like, I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm happy. And Lando was like, there's a couple of great shots of Lando where he's like,
God.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I come to talk with you again. He's fucking brutal. And there was that great moment that you pointed out, Brian, where Max is trying to like, it's clear. We could talk about that they're friends now again, but Max, they're having like a chummy conversation.
Yeah, in the cool down room.
They're having a chummy conversation, and Max is like, Max
was like, you went off in turn 9, and Lando was like, oh yeah, I did, like super bumpy, like that was crazy on track, right?
And then it was that classic like, and he just kind of like,
no, he literally sunk his chin into his chest, and with his hat down, and was just like, fuck my fucking life. I hate Max Verstappen. I hate Formula One. I hate Lewis Hamilton. I hate everything.
Is he the most emo driver?
He's so emo.
He's so emo. He's such a teenager.
He is. Dude, after he gave the speech after the race, like he gave a speech and he was being pretty, he was like, I blame myself. Even though well, yeah, maybe he blames himself because he told them to go in, but he's like, I blame myself, blah, 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 but still a good race and happy for Lewis, blah, blah, blah. And then Lewis is talking or Max is talking, and they just cut to Lando, and he's literally like
slumped on that little podium where you pick up your watch. Yeah, that was so brutal.
He's taking every moment of like rest to just be like, he's curling into a ball.
You know what I love about him? He has no poker face. I mean, he's got the worst poker face. No eye of the tiger at all. He's completely transparent in how he's feeling. He's me, he's me at 11 years old at Temple, just not wanting to be there.
Right,
just
right.
Fuck, I don't want to be at Temple.
Yeah.
And it's like, or at a funeral where you're supposed to like act like you want to, it's like you pretend that you care.
Yeah, if you're at a funeral,
like, I'm missing the Giants for this fucking funeral.
If you're at a funeral,
I don't even like this aunt.
If you're a kid and you were at a funeral with someone that like you didn't really know or don't really care about, like your parents' friend, and you're like, I don't care.
Right. That's Lando, right? Is he can't pretend.
Yeah, well, I've been
to be anything other than what he is.
I've been in Europe this whole month, and I've seen like lots of American families on vacation, and there's lots of kids that just look like they want to fucking like be anywhere.
Yeah.
But at the Louvre. That was Lando.
Oh my God. I remember when I was 18 or 19, my girlfriend at the time dumped me.
Mm-hmm.
Right where we were at Pompeii.
Yeah.
We're walking through Pompeii.
Yeah.
And I remember it well.
Yeah.
Because it was the most breathtaking thing of, you have just entire streets of you don't have to use your imagination to like know what an ancient city looks like. It's all there.
Yeah.
And you see people like perfectly preserved. You see signs. You see where like they're like brothels, and you have the signs and the prices for like different positions. It's like all like perfectly maintained.
What are we going for?
And I'm just like Lando Norris. I'm just there like, and my dad's like, "Are you kidding me? You're in the fucking cradle of civilization. You're in the most beautiful, spectacular place of all time, and all you can do is fucking cry about your stupid fucking girlfriend. Are you fucking kidding me?" Because my dad, whenever he what he loves about traveling is seeing things through his kids' eyes. But when his kids' eyes fucking suck,
Right.
My dad's big thing, right? When we go on trips, he goes, Matt, you taking this in? You taking this in?
Yeah.
And I was not taking this in.
You weren't taking it in.
I mean, I was taking it. I was like, yeah, this is awesome. But like, what I really want is to be lovable, you know? and I was so clear. Like now I could probably fake it.
Right.
But back then.
No, your dad was like, Lando, you got podium in Silverstone. Podium in Silverstone. Pretty good.
Yeah.
No, not for Lando Norris.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I want back to Lewis.
It's relatable.
It is relatable. He's a relatable king, which is why people love him. That's why it's 50-50. That's why we see so much papaya. Him and people just love Oscar Piastri. The two of them together are a fucking dynamic.
Well, they're the yin
duo.
and the yang.
They're the yin and the yang. They are the Gen Z yin
and yang.
Truly. They cover the bases.
They cover the bases.
Wait, I want to get back to Lewis Hamilton a little bit.
Yeah.
Lewis Hamilton wins. He just won in Silverstone with Mercedes. Ferrari. Ferrari today.
The way Toto reversed that.
Yeah.
I was impressed with Toto today.
Me too.
I was impressed.
I was like, is Toto Wolff like that bitch?
No, because he was able to. You know what it was? Because it was like Lewis. That could have been an L for him in a way because his boy lost.
Yes.
His number one boy lost.
Yep.
Lewis won, and his number one boy is leaving, and he's stuck with fucking George. Right? He's stuck with George.
Yeah.
Who's a fucking head case. Talk about pimps up, hose down. George was the king of the world a week ago, and now he's in tears.
He was the king of the world a week ago. Then he gets pulled. He was the king of the world. He was the king of the world 5 hours ago. Dude.
That's true. He was king of the world 5 hours ago, and now he's a fucking shattered bum. Yeah. He's a fucking bum. He's a useless bum. That's how crazy this world is. But you know what? Toto salvaged the situation.
Yeah.
When he got on the radio and he goes, "We would persevere," blah blah blah, and he's got this shit-eating grin on his face.
Yeah. And
I'm like, what is he smiling about? And you realize, like, oh, Lewis is fucking regretting this decision.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, because
he said we will persevere, and it's like. Who is we?
And you know what?
You could say we persevered today, me and you.
Yeah.
But maybe Mercedes is going to persevere, and Lewis is getting some buyer's remorse going to Ferrari, who was nowhere today. They've been nowhere since Leclerc. Is this the Leclerc Monaco curse now on Ferrari? He passed the curse.
We'll get to Leclerc in a second, but I want us to stick with
who
knows? You know what would be really fucked up? I bet you there's I think above a 50% chance that when they were struggling, Toto said we're going to persevere.
Yeah.
Like he used those exact words.
Yes. Yeah.
And then Lewis was like, yeah, fuck you, I'm going to Ferrari. So like those words like would carry a special meaning in his fucking helmet. Like what it is it's like, I told you so.
Right.
I told you we'd be here.
Yeah.
If you just stuck with me.
Right.
And you fucking couldn't do it. And now you're going. And maybe, yes, Lewis was emotional. This was, and there's this great shot of like Lewis talking.
Yeah.
And like being interviewed and emotional. And Toto's just standing there. He's got the biggest fucking smile on his face.
Yeah.
Because he's like, he won and he's leaving. And we're back. We're so fucking back.
Yeah.
Ferrari sucks.
I can't believe how back we are.
I can't believe how fucking back we are. And we've just won 2 fucking races in a row. Red Bull is a fucking hot mess right now. They don't have the advantage. They're crumbling internally. So, I mean, he's feeling really good. I think he likes his chances in 2025 and especially 2026. He's loving his chances. He's loving his chances. And Lewis could say he's crying because it's an emotional moment. He hasn't won in a while and all these things, but there might be a bit of bittersweetness to this. Like this, like he might just be jumping into he looked at Leclerc where Leclerc finished. He went, "Oh fuck."
I mean, if in 2026. Mercedes is like top dog and Ferrari is a mess.
No,
then what?
That's an oversimplification because Toto is so rock fucking hard for Antonelli that he wasn't going to give Lewis the terms that he wanted.
Yeah, it's true.
So he kind of left Lewis with the choice between. Lewis was kind of stuck between 2 not great options, which is like he'd go back to Mercedes for a year and then maybe have Kimi Antonelli breathing down his neck,
Right.
or he can secure like a long-term future with Ferrari. So, I get why he did it. So, like in my mind, if I'm Lewis, I'm not feeling like such an idiot because Toto's paying hardball with the contract.
Yeah.
Allegedly, he was only offering him a 1+1.
Right.
Whereas they were at least, I think Ferrari's offering him like a 2 or 3+1. So, if I'm Lewis, I'm not feeling that stupid.
Right.
I think if they'd offered Lewis like a 2-year guaranteed at least, he would have stayed.
Yeah.
So it's more just like he feels it's a shitty place.
So then it's like, it's also Lewis proving some shit back to Mercedes. Because, maybe we do payback. I know this is coming in the future, but I feel like payback of the day brought to you by Cash App. I mean,
Lewis Hamilton.
You think it's Lewis on? I'm trying to decide: is it Lewis Hamilton on Toto or is it Toto on Lewis? Because this is kind of the option here. Because it's like, if you look at it one way, where it's that like Lewis kind of didn't like where Mercedes was going, they weren't listening to him, X, Y, and Z, and then he goes to Ferrari. Then it's Toto being like, "Well, fuck you. Look, we're back on top. Like you should have given us a little bit more time." If it's the other way around, where Toto was saying like, no, we're not giving you what you want. We don't value you as much as we once did. Then it's Lewis saying, well, fuck you. It's my payback of the day. It's my payback.
The hard part, I think, in the short term, it's Lewis. It's Lewis payback.
Yeah.
In the long term, if Mercedes turns out to be great in 2026, then it might be Toto payback.
Right. And then
and Antonelli's good.
Yeah.
If Antonelli isn't the guy, then it's kind of like they each fucked each other.
Right.
Then it's just like everybody loses. Lewis loses and Toto loses. They both lose. It's just an unfortunate situation.
Yeah.
But I think today it's like, when I see all these McLaren Norris hats, it's not, because I don't think Toto lost today. I think it's payback of the day goes to Lewis Hamilton because y'all forgot about fucking Dre. Lando wins one race and almost wins 3.
Yeah.
And it's Norris country. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Y'all forgot about Dre.
Right.
That's what it is. It's not payback on Toto. It's payback on these fucking fickle English fucks.
Who don't care about greatness.
Don't care about greatness. Don't appreciate
the classics.
The classics.
And here at Lunaz, we appreciate the classics.
Okay?
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, fucking classics. All you Gen Z fucks, you just think Lewis is chuggy because he's PR trained. No, it's called trauma. It fucking changes you. It's called growing up and like being burned too many times. And then you're just like I'm just grateful. I just want to thank everybody back in the factory because, Lando will get there. Trust me.
Yeah, if Lando wins a bunch of championships, he'll be saying that shit.
Yeah, I just want to thank everyone back at the factory. I mean, look, you guys... Lewis is the fucking GOAT. George. Here's the thing. It's sad because nobody likes George.
I know.
And George is getting fucked royally. George is getting fucked royally because he's actually he's got the same amount of wins. He's got twice the wins as Lando does. He's beating Lewis in the points. He's putting up a hell of a fight against the greatest driver to ever live.
Yeah.
But he's not baby girl.
No, but
Lando's his baby girl.
Yeah.
Lando's his baby girl. He's fumbled every win that he should have had. Like, he's kind of actually in George Russell territory right now in terms of like cracking under the pressure.
Right. Bankers, not only does Cash App sponsor our favorite perfectly branded Formula One team, but they also make it easier for you to save money so you can do the things you love, like going to an F1 race. Listen, to be honest, we thought that Cash App was just a way to send people money, but it's also a faster and simpler way to bank. Streamline that. You can start saving with as little as $1. No hidden fees, no minimum balance requirements, no account fees, which we know that people need. I needed that. I need that right now.
Yeah. I needed that a couple years ago.
And we know that overdraft fees make no sense. Why are you charging someone if they don't have any money? Plus, when you deposit $300 or more in paychecks, you get up to $50 in free overdraft coverage. So Cash App has got your back. It pays to get paid on Cash App. So go download the app today. Now back to the show. The one girl who was like, I'll marry George because he's handsome. And I was like, her boyfriend looked exactly like George Russell.
Yeah. Yeah, no, George is not a bad looking guy, but he's got certain features. Like when we saw him in person, I saw him in person. I was like, the eyes are Steve Buscemi a little bit.
Yeah.
By the way, Steve Buscemi,
hot
when he was young,
hot now. Fucking.
But he's got those Steve Buscemi.
Hey, Barry Keoghan. Fucking Steve Buscemi walked so Barry Keoghan could run. Okay.
No, Steve Buscemi young he looked like Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah.
He looked like Bill Skarsgård.
He was a hottie.
No,
I mean George. There's it takes we talked about why we love George in the last episode. He's an
acquired taste.
He's an acquired taste. He's like cilantro or blue cheese.
Yeah.
He's blue cheese. Of the cheeses, he's gorgonzola, which is that like some people just are like, I'll never fucking eat that shit, and it's moldy and it's weird looking. but baby, if I get it on a burger, I love it.
Lando's fucking the one out of a can. You can just spray into your mouth.
Oh, just like cheese in a can?
Cheese in a can.
Just spray.
Everybody loves that.
Everyone loves that shit.
Accessible. He's so cute and bubbly.
What's Lewis? Like aged Parmesan?
Aged Parmesan, the kind at a restaurant that comes in a big block.
Yeah. Just fucking classic. Dependable. Always good.
Solid.
Max
but the young kids are like, oh. It doesn't... No, you know what Lando is?
What?
This is what fucking Lando is. He's a fucking mozzarella stick that the kids fucking love.
And he's wobbly. He doesn't have a lot of. He doesn't have a lot of structure. You can peel him fucking so easily.
Yeah. The kids love mozzarella sticks.
They do.
They love their mozzarella sticks, and they just.
And adults, and listen, adults like mozzarella sticks too. I ate a lot of mozzarella sticks during the pandemic.
I love mozzarella sticks, but I've added things to my repertoire, and
right.
You know,
and especially as you're an adult, you eat mozzarella sticks like kind of when you're depressed. At least I do.
When I go to craft services or something and I see a mozzarella stick, I'm like, oh,
gotta grab that shit.
Yeah, it's a great way to curb the hunger.
Right. What's Max Verstappen? He's like a jalapeno Gouda. Is Gouda Dutch? What's a Dutch cheese? He's
nothing
like
I'd want to eat.
I think he's a jalapeno. He's like a spicy Gouda where like you're like, oh, this is good. It's kind of like spicy in a way that's unpleasant.
And not every bite is the same.
Right.
Yeah. Some bites you're like, oh fuck, that was a tough one.
Yeah. Max Verstappen is he's shishito peppers.
Yeah.
And you're gonna get at least one that's gonna fuck you up, and you just hope that it's not you when you're at the table. When you get shishito peppers, you're at a table with people.
It's Russian roulette.
It's Russian fucking roulette, and you just hope that you don't get into a spat with Max Verstappen.
But here's the thing: is the
it'll get someone every time.
Shishito pepper fans when they get the bad, even when they get the bad one, they're like, "No, this is good. I love it."
Yeah,
they're
I
in
love
fucking
it.
denial.
Yeah. People who say they like spice are kind of liars.
And Matt, you know what? They're a little bit masochistic.
They are.
They're masochistic, defending something that hurts you.
Love it. Cheese driver metaphor was not what I was expecting for the pod today.
Ocon is just the stinkiest French cheese.
That kind of
nobody wants.
That's in the corner of the thing. You're like,
its mold spreads to other cheese. It's like it's fucking the other cheeses up. It's like, oh, we gotta get this cheese away from the other cheeses, otherwise it's gonna fucking contaminate the rest of the cheese vault.
Yes.
Where do you keep cheeses? If you're a nice, is there a cheese? Cigars, you have a humidor. Wine, you have a wine cellar. If you're a collector of cheeses.
You need
because I keep my
sealed.
cheese in a fridge.
It needs to be sealed.
Like a peasant.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you're a cheese gourmet, a gourmet, is there like a cheese locker?
Probably, yeah. I'm sure there's cheese keeping regimens and techniques.
Because I feel like some cheeses you don't put in the fridge.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, like when I go into
I think probably most you do put in the fridge, but yeah, maybe not. It's like
I feel like I've gone into some nice places. I'm like, this is not in the fridge.
When people have butter that they just leave out, so it's all fucking soft. They leave it on the counter in one of those things, and it's just soft as fuck.
I'm not a butter guy, and whenever I see gourmet butter, I'm like, you're trying too fucking hard. I went to a steakhouse. Yeah, they made you choose your knife. Mm-hmm. And I was like, you're trying. And they told you this knife is from this place in France. And then they were making out like, just give me the fucking steak.
And that's a former Cutco sales rep who's saying that. So that's when you know.
Yeah.
Pierre Gasly, I think maybe is the cheese it.
Cheese. What? Brian, what is the cheese? You'll know what this is. Brian, what is the cheese that you fucking inhale
in a can? Cheese Whiz.
Cheese Whiz.
Thank you, Gen Z producer Brian. It's Pierre Gasly's Cheese Whiz.
Yes.
Who's Barada?
The highest quality. Barada's like the highest quality. Leclerc is
just soft,
gooey,
melty on the inside. No structure.
No structure. Just will collapse at a moment's notice.
These emotional boys are just like fucking like blobs.
Yeah,
blobs. They're just blobs.
Yes.
What other drivers do we care about? Anyone else?
Oscar Piastri is just like the most mild. What's the most like? He's American cheese, honestly. Just like the sliced, dependable. You put it on a fucking sandwich.
I'd say he's sliced cheddar.
Sliced cheddar.
I don't think he's American cheese. Americans like it's melty. It's too melty.
Or is it like a sharp cheddar?
Sharp cheddar.
A sharp cheddar.
I think he's a sharp cheddar.
Got a lot of structure.
A lot of structure to that fucking cheese.
That thing you got to fucking to break that.
Yes, he's a sharp.
He's a fucking sharp
cheddar.
Dependable, reliable, tons of structure.
Is Yuki American cheese?
Yuki's not. Yuki's not bland. Yuki's spicy.
What do you mean? But he makes everything better, which is what I think American cheese does.
Okay. Yuki's just DRS on everything.
He's just you put American cheese on, and I started putting American cheese in my omelets, and baby, it's changed the game.
I feel like he's more interesting than that, like a smoked Gouda, just like whoa, you know?
Yeah.
He hates feta.
I think he hates like most like
he hates like goat cheese.
They don't really like yeah.
I like feta. You put a little feta in a salad, and holy shit, it just changes the game.
All right, we're losing the plot. Let's keep rolling on this weekend. Let's talk Ferrari. You're like, I'm stacking on the cheese. Let's talk Ferrari. I mean,
they're feta cheese because they just fucking crumble.
They crumble like it's their fucking job, dude. I mean, since Charles Leclerc,
you'd see Leclerc, and you're like, you see Leclerc's thing, and you're like, oh, well, they are firing him at the end of the season. Oh, wait, that's Sainz.
They gave Leclerc the Sainz treatment.
Yeah,
they treated Leclerc like he's the one that they fired for next year. That was crazy.
Unless it was Leclerc's idea.
It might have been Leclerc's idea, but I don't know. That move at that time, even if it's a driver's idea to do that, you gotta be like, no, that's stupid. It was crazy. He lost so much time.
Well, this was the tragic thing, is he qualified like shit. I don't know what was happening with him in qualifying. He qualifies, I don't know, 12th, 13th?
Yeah, 11th.
Claws his way.
The first turn, he makes up like three places.
The thing is, you don't even see here's what I miss.
Yeah.
Here's what I miss.
Yeah.
Is back in the day when Max had 10 seconds on everybody, and they would show that start from 20 different angles, and you would understand.
And they'd show what everyone did.
And you'd get how Leclerc got where he got. But now you have I have no fucking idea. And Brian, you're like, no, if you look in the very corner, you can see Leclerc. Blah, blah, blah. Leclerc did some epic shit back there. And we never saw it. And I'm like, okay, there were some laps where the guys in the front were holding position.
Right. Yeah, show the start a couple times. Show us how Leclerc went from 11th to right behind Carlos Sainz in like 5 laps.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It's crazy. He had an amazing race as an individual.
Yeah, he clawed his way all the way back. That was a tragic thing. It was like 3 steps forward, 10 steps
back.
That was what was brutal, is that his race was fucked, unfucked, fucked again.
Dude, I think that like he transferred the curse.
It was monkey's paw. You heard of monkey's paw?
Yeah, what?
It's like you or Bedazzled. That movie Bedazzled.
Yes.
Where it's like, oh, your dream girl will love you, but you're gay, or you're going to be a great basketball player, but your dick is like you have a micro penis. Like, there's always like
there's a trade-off.
There's a trade-off
for everything.
For everything.
And it's like I think, but also it's like curses transfer.
Yeah.
It's like, you
will win Monaco, but you'll never have a successful race ever again.
Yes, the ring, isn't that the plot of the ring? It's like it goes to the next person. Like the curse just gets transferred to the next person, to the next person, to the next person. The curse was on Charles. Charles had the Monaco curse, and then
the curse still is on him.
Well, him, but also, right. Fuck yeah, but it's
Faustian bargain and whatever you want.
But it's also kind of on Ferrari because Ferrari's been nowhere. Like it's even though Carlos Sainz didn't have as much bad luck today, the car's kind of still a mess, and the other teams
it's the 4th best.
Now it's the 4th best car.
Yeah,
and it looked like in the beginning of the season they were going to be second easily.
That they can't develop in season.
They can't develop in season, and it's just like
and they suck at execution because they had the second fastest car last year and they finished third.
Yep.
It's just that they suck at the finer details of like execution, strategy.
Yeah.
Fucking setups. It seems like half the time Leclerc's setup just sucks.
No, that was. I mean, it was a mess.
Yeah,
they were a mess.
Yeah,
like inexcusable.
And it seems like they need a guy like Sainz.
Right.
Sainz is actually the perfect driver for them because he kind of can correct that a little bit in the cockpit.
Yeah,
but you need a genius in the back of that thing.
I think that Lewis doesn't do it from the cockpit necessarily. Sometimes he does. Like today, he was like, "I'm not coming in. Fuck you." He has that experience, but he also brings like that behind the scenes kind of stuff. So I think that I don't think that they're losing anything by getting rid of Sainz and bringing in Lewis, but they need all the fucking help that they can get because it's inexcusable to put Sainz.
I don't know if Lewis quarterbacks as well as Sainz does
in the car. But I think Lewis brings remember when Lewis you need to bring the seat he has he's been around long enough.
Apparently,
with that
Carlos is also good at the feedback too.
Yeah. I'm sure he is.
But
should we talk about Checo Perez?
I mean, it's getting old, but he just keeps. I mean, this was
crazy.
Just when the bar was below the floor, he qualified last, and they made him start in the pit lane.
Well, I think they took new because he threw it off the track. He threw it off the track. He red flagged.
Q1.
No,
it's crazy, hard to watch,
and
given that he has this 2-year deal.
Well, this 2-year deal comes with a lot of qualifiers to it, and he can't qualify well, so it's not going well because it seems like this 2-year deal has a bunch of stipulations to it. There's reports that part of the performance clauses that he has within the 2-year deal is that he has to be no more than 100 points behind Max. Currently, he is 119 points behind Max. So that means, and then this is before Spa, and then the contract is torn up. Potentially, they can nix it if they want. Which means that in 2 races, he needs to put 19 points up on Max Verstappen. Don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Don't think that's going to happen. So he needs to be no more than 5 places behind Max in the driver standings. Currently, he's 6th. So he's already right now in breach of contract.
He's already in breach of contract,
which is crazy. And Christian Horner said it. On Sky Sports this week. They were like, I think Brundle was kind of an aggressive, interesting time to give him that contract, given how everything was going. And then, and Christian said well, we were hoping that the contract would kind of motivate him and it would get him out of his slump. And
it was an interesting move. Optimistic move.
A very risky move.
Not if you have all these.
Not if you have a million outs. Yeah, which it seems like they do.
Well, it's here's the thing.
Yeah.
Does that thing work if you have a million outs in the contract?
Right.
Does the peace of mind work if you have a million outs?
Right.
The pressure is still applied.
100%.
The idea of if I fuck up, I'm fired. Those sort of Damocles still looms over you.
Right.
So the idea of if we sign him for 2 years,
right?
The pressure will be off of him.
No, it's
really
not
work.
Peace of mind if and it's a kind of maybe a tall order. It's a hard number to hit.
This shouldn't be a
this
tall order.
This isn't a tall order.
This isn't a tall
Getting
order.
out of Q1 is not a tall order, dude. That's not even the performance.
Nico Hulkenberg gets out of Q1. Right, Nico Hulkenberg got to getting to Q3 in the Haas.
Dude, he got 6th place today.
Yeah,
6th place.
Albon got 9th. Yuki Tsunoda. Here's the crazy thing: a guy in their program, is regularly just straight up beating him. Now.
Yes.
He's being out qualified by a guy in their program in a shittier car.
Yes.
But it's just I don't know what Yuki Tsunoda did. Did he
they got the ick, man. They just got the ick for Yuki. They don't see him like that. He's in the friend zone.
He's in the friend zone.
Yuki is just forever in the friend zone of Red Bull.
Yeah.
And they'll never put they'll never put a ring on it.
Yeah, it's so tough. It's so tough. Because here's the thing.
Yeah.
If they want to get rid of Checo, let's say they want to get rid of Checo.
Right.
Do they move Danny up? That would be crazy if they moved Danny up. Given what's happening, given that he's currently not performing, he's not
right. You're clearly overlooking what's happening on track if you put Danny in that seat,
or you just know that Danny is. Look, he's not here, and the argument is
he can't be doing worse than what Checo's doing.
He's not doing worse than what Checo.
Neither of them would. Okay, I think Danny definitely wouldn't do worse than what Checo's doing, and I think maybe what they're afraid of with Yuki is that there's a world where he like freaks the fuck out and winds up doing like as bad as Checo because of the pressure of that seat.
He can't handle the pressure. I think Danny would not. I think Danny wouldn't do. I mean, how could you do worse? He's out in Q1.
It's crazy.
He can't do worse. He can't fucking do worse. Daniel Ricciardo couldn't do worse. Here's the other thing. I think because Daniel Ricciardo arguably is closer to Yuki than Checo is to fucking Max.
Yeah.
And Max and Yuki are the same level of talent.
That's right.
So
of course
you can't blame either of them. Really,
that's right. Of course,
they're both generational talents.
Generational motherfucking talents. Oh, in other news, we saw this trailer for this for the movie F1.
Is it on YouTube now?
It's on YouTube. Yeah,
you can watch it.
You can watch it. They showed it at the track today. Featuring one Gunther Steiner in a very prominent moment.
Yeah, they were like, let's just show all the stars of this movie: Brad Pitt, Javier Bardem, Gunther Steiner. He was one of the people featured. He had a fucking real. He's got such a mug on him, dude.
Get that? Yeah,
it's crazy. He should have been a character actor.
Yeah,
he would have been an all-time character actor. He's just got one of those faces.
Imagine him like as a henchman in a movie.
Yeah,
like you get to the boss is number two.
Numbies.
The stoic crime boss is number two. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
Gunther Steiner.
Yeah.
No, the movie. I mean, it got my blood going like the Top Gun movie did. I was like, this is gonna look fucking sick.
He would be the like silent enforcer for the mafia, like they're Luca Brasi. Who goes and just takes care of shit. Who's just fucking garroting guys' necks.
Right, but then bring the cannoli.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's fucking Gunther, baby.
Yeah.
We hung out with Gunther, we just hung out with him. Dude.
Yeah.
We were just chilling.
We were just chilling in the Pirelli motorhome, just fucking shooting the shit. Eating the Italian food. Made by Pirelli, had a carbonara. Gunther was really impressed that I knew what a cacio e pepe was.
Yeah,
which we talk about on the next not this upcoming Vank Hours.
He thinks so little of us.
He really does. He really does.
You know what a cacio e pepe is?
I was like,
crazy how little you think so.
What's funny is that later you were like, well, I had no idea what a cacio e pepe was.
But he's shocked that one of us did.
Yeah, I mean. He thinks very low. No, he loves us, and we love him, and that's the relationship that we have. Well, what else do you think about the F1 movie, though?
I didn't know. They didn't give me much other than vibes.
Yes.
The shots look really good.
It was all vibes.
Shots look really good. The cinematography looks good. There's one bit of dialogue. It goes, I think I memorized it because it was that little. He's like, they're beating us on the straights, so we need to develop something on the go around corners better.
Yeah. We need a fight. And
we need a car built for combat.
Built for combat.
And she was like, how do I make that safe? And he's like, who said anything about safe?
Boom.
Boom.
Yeah,
boom.
And then he's crouching and he's like fucking touching the fucking gravel.
Here's the thing.
Fucking track.
Here's the thing. I didn't understand that. If you want a car for overtaking, you want a car that's fast on the straights. I mean, I could have.
Feelings don't care about your facts.
That corners helps you in time. They don't help you for fucking combat.
Yeah, well, these cars are also so not built for. These are the most finicky fucking cars that like in all of motorsport.
Yeah, build me a tank. I mean, that's not really how it works. I mean, here's the thing.
Build me a tractor.
Here's the thing. The fact that I can like fact check this is not good.
Yeah.
Because I'm not one of these, well, actually, guys.
Right.
Like, I'll let so much go. I don't really care.
Yeah.
But if this is your one bit of dialogue and you're deciding to like, I don't know. I'm sure it'll be good. I mean, Top Gun was good.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't let like some of the things about the inaccuracies of Top Gun get in the way of an enjoyment.
I mean, it was literally the plot of Star Wars, and I missed it. I was so swept up in it.
Right.
It was like you have to like go through and like drop a shot in the like into the hole.
Yeah.
And like go through a canyon that's impossible, that's filled with guns. That's literally the Death Star.
Yeah.
And then Miles Teller at one point like gets rid of his nav. Like he literally uses the Force.
He uses the Force.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe that'll happen in this one as well. We'll see. We'll see what the plot of F1, the movie,
That's
is.
the craziest part.
It's
is that
crazy.
it's called F1 and
it's the logo.
It's the logo.
Yeah.
It's like an officially. It's like if Barbie was just called Hasbro. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy.
Well, it's not even like F1 with a the
Unleashed or something.
Yeah,
It's,
like this story or something like that. Like it's just F1.
F1.
The video game.
It's like this is F1. It's like no, it's not. It's about a fictional. It's a fictional story.
Yeah. All right. Should we get into our awards?
Sure.
All right. So we did Payback of the Day. Went to Lewis. Brought to you by Cash App. Let's get into Daddy of the Day.
This one's easy. It's fucking easy. It's Anthony Hamilton.
Yes, dude.
Holding his fucking son. You know what's so crazy?
Yes.
Here's what was so crazy is we're at this place called Pole Position at Red Bull. It was great. You know, you're really actually close. You have a great run.
You have a great
turn
view.
Turn one. Closest thing out of any you're closer to that part of the track than any other track.
Yeah.
It's the best view of any circuit. Pole Position. Anyway, we're at Pole Position after he won. And the radio, they broadcast the race in there, and they have their own commentary team for the race, and they cut off all sound.
Yeah.
So they just show the video feed, no sound.
Interesting.
And I watched Lewis, like it was like a silent film. Watching Lewis, like visibly, like there wasn't a commentator telling me he was crying.
Yeah.
You could just see with his helmet on, like the way he was shaking, the way he was touching, like feeling through his visor, you could tell he was crying.
Yeah.
And then it was like just silently watching this guy take his son, hold him, hug him, whisper, like the way you can see he was just telling him things into his ear. You know, I don't know what he was saying.
Yeah.
But it was obviously powerful. It was like just to watch. It was a powerful image.
Yeah.
Just watching this thing, and there was and with no sound to accompany it, just the pure visuals of that was like moving.
Yeah.
I was moved.
90% of communication, it's nonverbal. You actually don't need the sound. You can just see what's actually happening, and it's so because that was a really powerful image.
Yeah.
They started hugging, and then like mid hug, you saw Lewis like grab for his eyes.
Yeah.
Through the helmet.
Yeah.
And it's like you don't stop. You like if you're crying, you don't stop. Like you still do. If you have a helmet on, you're still going to do what you normally do, right?
Yeah.
It's like you grab for your eyes. He did that through the helmet.
Yeah. Like
and
it
was
wasn't
just
going to work.
holding his,
Yeah.
the embrace of his father, who had to sacrifice so much for him to get where he is, and all the shit. And like it was interesting because I feel like the last time I really saw them on a public stage embrace
2021
was 2021 after Abu
after
Dhabi.
he lost, and his dad was there.
And his dad was there.
Who was hard on him.
Yes.
Who was his manager. Who he fired.
Yep.
That they have this complicated relationship. You know, that was really powerful. And then he had a moment with his mom too.
Yeah, that was a
great.
beautiful. Yeah,
It was also a beautiful moment.
So it goes to both. Goes to both of Lewis's parents. Both win Daddy of the Day.
And she sacrificed a lot too, in the sense that she was like, "Yeah, I'll just won't see my son anymore. Like, I'll just give you custody of my son." So that was a big sacrifice as well.
100%.
Yeah, that was very moving. And he was crying. And then he took his helmet off, and you could see literally he was fucking crying.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah. And then I think also Lewis getting it, just the Hamilton family, including Lewis's mother, Daddy of the Day, 100%. Karen of the Day, in a different mode.
Karen of the Day. I mean, Lando was, Lando gave. I mean, the radios have been so. You know what? It's funny. I think now that these races are more exciting, they don't play the radios as much,
right?
Which is a fucking mistake.
Feed us
the radios.
Yeah,
the races aren't that good that you can't just keep the stream of just psychosis coming.
This is the best part of the broadcast.
This is the best part of the broadcast.
This is what we need. We need this behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah. So Lando was like, "Oh, they were, when the two Mercedes went off, he's like, did they unjoin unsafely?
They rejoined unsafely.
I'm just worried about their safety." That was Karen. This isn't Karen. This isn't Karen of the day. It might be red flag, but we'll save that for someone else.
Yeah.
They're not Karens. But walking around Silverstone, just the nerd alert. It was so many goddamn nerds.
Yeah, F1 fans are nerds.
I was just surrounded by nerds. Like when you're in Austin, just fucking Liddy McTitty. Like just surrounded by people who are willing to just throw their lives away on TikTok. Say the most outlandish things.
They wear fun shit.
They wear fun shit.
Crazy outfits.
The hot, when you say give us our hottest take, it's like, whoa, I won't put that on the internet because I care more about your livelihood than you do.
Right.
Like that's the vibe at Austin. It's less so at Miami, but everybody's so fucking hot.
Right, that it makes up for it.
And Vegas, everyone's so fucking hot. It was just a bunch of fucking nerds. And you know what it is? Because all the fucking Liddy McTitty people are watching the fucking Euros.
They're watching soccer.
They're watching soccer.
And they're hooligans, and they dress up crazy, and they paint themselves red or blue or whatever the fuck it is.
So if you're a British Formula One fan, you're basically the fans that getting. I've seen you for what you are now.
Yeah.
All you fucking people in England that are like, England's where the real fans are. You guys suck. I've seen you all. Yeah, you guys all suck.
You're nerds.
You're not. You're fucking nerds. You know how many people we tried to talk to? Like,
we talked.
The lot of you.
We saw one guy in a
tough hangs.
We saw
tough hangs.
Yeah, we saw one guy.
400,000 nightmare blunt rotation was what I fucking saw at Silverstone. Okay.
Yeah, we saw one guy in a fun outfit.
Yes.
Irish.
Yeah.
Not British.
Yeah. Just the nightmare blunt rotation that was the Silverstone. And
Ireland is like the fun. It's like all the fun people were in Ireland, which is why like the UK couldn't fucking handle it. Yeah. They were like, we have to oppress you.
You know what?
You guys are too fucking fun.
What it was? It's after Lewis won, we were like, we couldn't wait to get out and see everybody be excited.
Yeah.
And we got out and everyone was like, man.
No, literally.
Yeah. That was the vibe. Yeah. It sucked. Yeah. It sucked. You guys suck.
We literally were like, oh, let's get out. The people are probably going to be going crazy. Lewis Hamilton.
We were more excited about Lewis than you guys were.
Yeah, get your shit together.
Get the shit together. No, but it's not. I don't want to shit on England. Because people in England are lovely.
Yeah.
It's just your Formula One fans suck. You guys suck. Yeah. American Formula One fans are just objectively better.
It's true.
When you go to COTA, it's Liddy fucking McTitty. COTA is better. This place was rainy. Look, the race was a banger.
The race is a banger. The track's a banger.
Track's a banger.
It's a little muddy. It's a bit muddy.
It's a bit muddy. There's not a lot of activation. It's not a place. It's just a lot. It's just a fucking lot of massive humanity just wandering. It's giving Ellis Island. It's just a lot of fucking people. Just a lot of sad looking people just shuffling along.
Your ponchoed masses.
Yeah, give me your fucking huddled masses. Because there's not a lot of. Look, I know I'm going to sound like an asshole. When I say there's not a lot of activations.
Right.
But it's just, there's no community. It's just people just moving from one fucking area to another, and you get no sense of community. Yeah. Like, COTA, there's a lot of activations, there's a lot of hills where people can kind of chill. You feel like you're at a fucking Woodstock or something. You feel like you're at a place where here it's just I gotta get to Stowe. A lot of people wanting to watch the drivers' parades. Like, you know how many people said no because they want to watch the drivers' parades? Like, what a bunch of fucking nerds. Like, when you go to IndyCar, you go to the Indy 500, Liddy McTitty. There are so many people there that don't even know there's a race going on.
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome.
They have the courage to have fun in America.
Oh, my God. And this is
England needs to have England.
No, they're all soccer matches.
And they're all soccer matches.
They're all soccer matches. It's
England,
not an indictment of English
British
people.
Formula One fans have the courage to have some fucking fun.
This is why they hate our podcast, because they don't want fun. They want everything to be uptight and miserable. This fan base, this English fan base is so fucking repressed. It's crazy.
I don't understand
It's
how they
fucking
weren't.
nuts.
Listen, Queen, right? We are the champions, my friend. They should have been singing that shit. Everyone in fucking unison because Lewis Hamilton won the British Grand Prix.
Freddie Mercury is spinning his fucking grave because they played Queen in the beginning and it was awesome.
It was sick.
I was like, you forget that this is the land of Queen.
Yes.
This is the land of fucking Freddie Mercury. You wouldn't know that.
Yeah.
You would know that if you went to other places in England, but not here.
Yeah, you're fucking right.
Where the fuck? I mean, this is the country that produced Charlie XCX. This is where Brad Summer. There was no fucking Brad Summer here. Let me tell you the fuck that.
No one here knew who Charlie XCX is, and you need to. And
fucking
you need
Brad
to.
Summer is not here. Did not have a Brad Summer out here.
Okay, speaking of Brad Summer, what's the hottest moment of the day?
I mean, Oscar on the grass was pretty good. Oscar on the grass. I mean, that whole stretch.
That sequence
of, Lando getting Max.
Yes.
Oscar getting Max. And then the Mercedes switching too. Mm-hmm. That was just fucking, I was a puddle of cum.
Yeah. When they were when it was raining and they had to stay out on slicks.
Mm-hmm.
How fucking, I was so sick.
The George, poor George.
Poor George.
Poor George. I mean, he is just.
It sucks.
It sucks. Grand opening, grand closing.
Grand closing. Okay, radio of the day. Apparently there was this moment where they were talking to Lewis and he was like, just let me drive. Just let me drive, guys.
Yeah, he fucking took George's thing.
He took George's thing.
Yeah,
just let me drive.
I'm trying to think radio of the day. I mean, George is going, fuck shit.
Yes. Well, we talked about it on the last episode. We're like, George, he said, sugar, and
yabba dabba doo.
Yabba dabba doo. But who he really is when he's pushed into the corner is that we didn't even hear any words. It was just bleeps.
It was just bleeps, which is he's my guy. I love George. I fucking die for George.
Yeah. George's bleeps was great. People were talking about get in there, Lewis. Sure.
That was branded, trademark.
Branded, a little tough, but no. George is just
Toto's radio was really good.
Yeah.
I mean, no, I gotta say, because I shit on the guy all the time. He's looking like a G. He's got the upper hand right now.
Do you think that this is where do you think the constructor standing is going to end right now?
I can't. I mean, it's so chaotic. I think
because
McLaren's
going to win.
I don't know, dude. I mean, Mercedes is probably so far back.
They got third, fourth today. They had the most points.
No, I'm saying Mercedes is so far back in the constructors.
Right. Red Bull's at 373. Ferrari's at 302. McLaren's at 295. Mercedes 221. And then the rest, obviously, kind of who gives a shit.
Wait, so McLaren's at 295?
Yes.
Oh, so they got Mercedes in the bag.
They
got Ferrari in the.
They're 7 points behind Ferrari.
Yeah, they got them. I think they're going to catch Red Bull easy.
So we think that maybe McLaren's going to win the constructors.
I think it's not even close, just because they're driving. Even on their worst days, they got 2 fucking cars.
Yeah.
Totally. Where did they finish? 3rd and 4th? Where did Oscar finish?
3rd and 4th. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they they're fine.
I think they're going to win the constructors.
That's easy.
And then Red Bull second.
Red Bull
probably.
second. And who's going to?
And then it's between Ferrari and Mercedes. Ferrari right now at 302. Mercedes at 221.
Ooh.
That's
a bloodbath.
That's a bloodbath.
How many more street tracks we got?
The latter half the latter half has a few. It's Singapore, Baku. There's some stuff there.
Yeah, but there's still plenty of
It seems like Mercedes has figured their shit out.
Yeah,
it seems like Mercedes is back. Maybe not back. Maybe not back.
They're not beating McLaren back,
but they're players.
They're beating Ferrari now.
Yes.
Especially on these. Well, I think it's so temperature specific.
Yeah.
I mean, England was cool. I feel like Austria was relatively cool. That helped them a lot. They got lucky with the temperature.
Yeah.
I mean, I think when they go to Mexico, they'll be in trouble.
Yeah.
I think
Singapore, they'll
be in trouble.
They might do well. It's a street track, so I think Ferrari will still do well in Las Vegas.
So it'll be a blood, but it'll be nighttime.
It'll be nighttime, so that might be good.
It might be good. So it might be a kind of a wash.
Yeah, we'll see.
Ferrari did well. Ferrari did great last time in Vegas.
Yeah, exactly.
So
that's really I think the battle of the watch. It's going to be McLaren and Red Bull, and then it's going to be Ferrari and Mercedes. We'll see where they wind up. Okay. Is it red flag of the day? I think it's red flag of the day.
Okay, so for red flag for me,
Yes.
as I was walking around Silverstone, the British fans. No, I'm kidding. I just do that whole rant again. No, that one for me was the red flag, and just McLaren. Lando.
Babies, this is
You are
yours.
fumbling the bag
you are
right now.
Fumbling the fucking bag.
England wants to give it to you. They are dying to give it to you.
Yes.
Mercedes has dropped it, and everyone's like, McLaren, pick it up.
Yes.
Pick it up. It's like when I was in high school.
Yeah.
And a girl that I really liked was like, hey, you want to come over to my house and help me with my history homework? And then I went and said, we don't even have the same teacher. And then I said, ask Billy. I'm like, and I once looked at that. I saw an instant message once, like 3 years later. I was like, you fucking moron.
yeah.
Like, it's a miracle I haven't died a virgin. Like, she was throwing it at me.
Right.
And I just threw it right back.
And
it's fucking wild.
It's crazy.
And she literally confirmed that to me. She was like, I was dying for it. I was gagging for you.
Yeah.
You're just such an idiot. That's McLaren right now. England is throwing the pussy at them.
England is, but also it's a thing where it's like they've done all the work. It's like as if they I bought a whole new wardrobe. I got went to the gym,
got a facial,
did all the stuff to make me more attractive. To a potential suitor and partner. Yes. And then the suitor and partner says, hey, want to fuck? And they're like, fuck? What do you mean? I don't know what that is. No. They say, they say, hey, you want to come home with me? Come home with you? Why? You're on the other side of town. Yeah. It's going to take me so long to get home if I go home with you.
Come home with me to do what?
To do What are we gonna do at your house? Us together?
Oh, do you have an Xbox? Do you have what's your Wi-Fi set up? Nah, I'm good.
Okay. I have a call later.
Fucking me in 9th grade vibes.
Yeah, get your shit together, McLaren.
I literally would text. I would aim her that.
Yeah.
And then I would jerk off and cry myself to sleep. And that's Lando Norris.
That's what
jerking off and crying himself to
fucking sleep. That is amazing. Okay, fuck, marry, kill the podium, the actual podium. Lando, Max, Lewis. We actually get to include Max for once.
I am killing Lando, putting him out of his fucking misery.
Yeah.
I am fucking Lewis. And I think I'm marrying Max. I just think that would be fun. I just think that would be a fun time.
Yeah, I'm marrying Max because, even when the shit goes fucking wrong, like this weekend just was a nightmare for him. But he still found a way to fucking make it work. And that's what marriage is. It's a nightmare that you make work.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna marry Max. I'm gonna have hopefully tonight with Lewis.
Yeah.
I want one night with Lewis, and I want it to be tonight. Let's find out where he is after this, and then I'm putting Lando out of his misery as well. Right. Was this better than the Las Vegas GP?
Yes, Max didn't win.
Yep.
It had a lot of changes of the lead.
Yep.
Could have used one more curveball, but it was a nice classic.
Yeah.
Nice classic race. That was all hinged with changing conditions. It was all, the nerds would love it because it was all about strategy. And I guess the wild card in this race was just the fucking rain.
Yes. And that it brings, this is what it is. It just brings fucking curveballs left, right, and center.
I was really shocked that there was nobody that crashed or did a red flag or I was like, really nothing from Logan? Nothing?
I know.
This is your time.
In the wet.
In the wet.
That was crazy.
The
race was so short.
Yeah, I was like,
this podcast is going to be longer than the race. Yeah. I had to shout out my friend Fraser who texted me. He said, "You can shove your Vegas GP up your arse. The Brits do it best."
Do the Brits do it best, or it's now competitive?
It's now competitive.
Yeah, it's not competitive.
And guess what? If this was the Vegas GP this year is going to be next fucking level.
Yeah, exactly.
Next level. Okay. We got Hungary next.
Has been a banger in the past.
Has been a banger. Proves to be a banger. It's typically kind of cold.
Merc.
I think another Lewis Hamilton victory, maybe.
Yeah, another McLaren step on their old dick.
Yes. Changing conditions happen there as well.
Piastri was robbed.
Piastri was robbed. Was not Piastri's fault.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Nicole, we are sorry for your boy.
Yeah.
But it wasn't
Although
his fault.
he did make one of our interns' day.
He did. He took a picture with intern Aniela, and
she's literally her life. She speaks.
I've never seen a Gen Z person so excited.
Yeah.
never in my
By
life
that
have
I
seen
mean
it.
not that excited. She was as excited as we've ever seen her. But she insisted that she was excited.
She did. Okay, that just about does it. We've had an amazing time here in the UK. We shout out to everyone. Thank you, Cash App, for facilitating so much of this. Thank you to Lunaz. Thank you to everyone who we talked to, who came to our meet and greet. Thank you to our whole team, Friday Beers, everyone who made this happen. Brian, Jenny, the whole crew.
Aniela,
Alex,
Marcy,
Gabby, our whole Red Flags crew. We love you.
We couldn't do it without you guys. And
Robin,
and
Connor,
yeah,
the whole Red Flags crew. Everyone that makes
you
this thing
guys,
possible,
and the Patreons,
and the Patreons, and everyone who listens to this little show. That's getting.
We would thank our friends and family, but they do not.
They don't listen. So you're our new family, and we love you for that. And big thank you to VCARB and Red Bull for helping facilitate.
We were in the fucking paddock.
We were in the paddock,
which we can talk about.
We'll talk about at other times. There was too much about this race. We took a selfie with Otmar. Let's just say that. We took a selfie with Otmar.
Need I say more?
Yeah, huge shout out to VCARB. Also, we have a Danny Ricciardo. Wait, we interviewed Danny Ricciardo. It's coming out next Monday.
Oh, I forgot I interviewed Danny.
We did. We interviewed Danny Ricciardo for 45 minutes.
And dude, we got to him.
We did.
We fucking got to
We
him.
Triggered him in a really positive way.
Yeah, it was cathartic for everybody.
It was. And our newest daddy,
Griffin Ricker.
Thank you, Daddy. Thank you, Vankas. We love you. Cheerio.
Goodbye, Vankas.